I don't speak the language. Could you teach me?
Spent my whole life looking for love. Somebody told me attention is one hell of a drug. Got me fighting my intentions when we cutting the rug. Love the way you compliment me, fell in love with the love, man. Hey, this shit fucking me up. Every time that I see you, feel like I'm catching a buzz. Back when I was a shorty, I didn't know what it was. I tried to fight all the feelings, but I was catching a buzz. Like, nah, baby, we don't break dance, but I make bands, and I shake a great hand.
What up, though? It's your boy Felix the Don, and welcome back to the Loft podcast, man. It is episode 3 of season 1. We got a fun episode for y'all today. 2 of my favorite people in the world are here with us, my boy Jason and my girl Jess. We work very closely together in the cannabis industry for Live Cannabis and Common Citizen, bringing you all your cannabis needs. So we about to have a good time, and without further ado, everybody give a warm welcome to Jason Malone and Jessica Jackson. What up, though? I'm feeling good, man. How y'all doing today?
Living the dream.
I appreciate y'all coming to rock with me. So for everybody that don't know, this is Jason Malone and Jess Jackson. They are 2 of the dopest black entrepreneurs that I get the pleasure to work with on a daily basis. We don't get a lot of time to just chill and have fun, though. It's like all work all the time. So I'm really glad y'all came out here to do this with me. We just going to have a good time. I want to, the people to get to know y'all like I know y'all, and, let's just have some fun. So I want to kick it right off. Jess, kind of tell the people, who you are, where you're from. Give us your background a little bit. I don't even know this, so we're gonna get deep today.
What up, though, y'all? I'm Jess. I am a legacy Detroiter, but I like to say I'm the quintessential big sis. I am from the southwest side of Detroit. I went to Western International High School, so like Detroit strong. But I'm a biracial black author, storyteller, narrator, host. I do all types of things. I host out of my home with Copperhouse Detroit. At Common Citizen, I'm the Director of External Affairs and Social Equity. I like to say I'm being used as a vessel in any way possible. So whether that's sharing my own story and my truth to humanize other people's truths, or make sure that our corporate social responsibility is reinvesting into communities that have been disproportionately harmed, I'm being used as a vessel by God.
I love that.
Amen.
I love that. So basically, in layman's terms, she's dope as hell. She do a lot of dope shit. So that's what's up.
No doubt.
And Jason, man, tell the people where you're from and give us a little bit of your background.
Yeah, Jason Malone, born and raised west side of Detroit, Finkel and Whittingham to be exact, 15340 Whittingham. What up, though? Went to U of D Jesuit High School, came out in 2000. Attended Loyola University, Chicago. Had the chance to walk on the golf team, believe it or not, golf.
And it's a common thread.
Yeah, you see it, you see it. And I am the owner of Live Cannabis in Detroit. And
The legacy owner.
the legacy owner. Thank you, Jess. That's why she get paid all the bread.
Yeah, that's what's up.
That's what she get it, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. How did that, come about?
Yeah, like many things in life, man. It all, things come into fruition and it happens. I think you got to be prepared to be in the right situation when it comes to you.
Yeah.
And like anything in life, it's about networking. It's not about what you know. It's about who you know. Mm-hmm. And my superpower is I'm a people's person, and so by me being a people's person, I had the ability to get in the room with my partners from Common Citizen, and we met, and they felt me out, and I felt them out, and we just automatically said, this is a really good energy, good vibe. Let's see if we can, talk business and see how we can ultimately help the city of Detroit.
I love that. And Jess, how did you get with Common Citizen and Live? I never asked you this question.
So it was 2 ways. One, I was doing consulting with CanInclusive and Mary Pryor and doing marketing work in Michigan. And so I was connected via Mary Pryor and CanInclusive and starting to launch Principal from a consultant perspective. But I also was selected to do some of the storytelling in that documentary that they commissioned called Hire. So they've actually commissioned a documentary to talk about Principal, which is our line that reinvests 100% of profits into community. And the launch of that product line showcased 12 stories of 12 Michigan folks who were doing a lot of impactful work around cannabis. So we had John Sinclair in there. We had some parents who had been terminated. We had OG from Detroit who had been criminalized. And then my story, I was doing a marketing campaign called Curvy Cannabis to increase the representation of large and curvy women in cannabis marketing. And I also was a part of sharing the story of like being what I like to call a descendant of the war on drugs. So my father was a victim of the crack epidemic in Detroit. And so when I talk about what reinvesting in communities who have been impacted and affected by the war on drugs, I'm thinking about not only the folks who have spent time in jail, but what about their kids who didn't have a parent? Or what about the people who were affected by a health crisis that then, instead of giving us support like they've done in communities that have been affected by opioids, they put us in jail, right? So my dad was affected by a health crisis. And so I like to say I'm a descendant of the war on drugs. And we're talking about who's been impacted and affected by that war on drugs.
That's what's up. Yeah, I think that's really important. Like you said, like not only the people who were impacted by that, but like their kids and the families that had to deal with, you know, the turmoil that came with the war on drugs and the crack epidemic and all that stuff that's going on in America. Like, and it's crazy to see, like, you know, watch documentaries and movies now that depict it like that it was so prevalent in that time. And it's like, I don't know how it got swept under the rug like it did, or just, you know, how they don't teach us about this, you know, coming up. But I'm glad that it's starting to be broadcasted now and people are starting to see and learn from those mistakes. You know what, we, like you said, the opioid epidemic is a big thing now, and I feel like they're kind of learning from the era in the past, you know, and starting to treat it more like a health crisis and more like mental illness.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about one of the reasons why they're doing that, but y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. But it's but like I said, I'm glad that the awareness is there, you know, and that's beautiful. That is. And Jason, to piggyback on you, like, coming up, you do something that I've always wanted to get into, and I know a lot of my listeners are, you know, like the real estate and appraisals and flipping and doing all that. That's you see that on TikTok everywhere. Like that's where the money's at. You know?
Yeah.
So how did you get into that, and you know what has that done for you? And tell us about your background in
real estate.
Real estate.
Yeah. So you know, my first job out of college when I graduated and moved back home from Detroit was with, at the time, Quicken Loans, which is now Rocket Mortgage, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I moved back from Chicago, I want to say 2008. And I'm like, all right, let me get this job. And I got the job. And I'm like, yeah, I'm selling mortgages. But I wasn't selling mortgages because it was 2008. And 2008 was when the recession hit and the market bottomed out. And so here I am going to work every day. I'm up at that place 7:30 to 9 every night, calling all across the country to try to sell mortgages, and it didn't happen. And so, you know, as the world started to understand what was going on and what happened, you know, we realized that we were in a recession. And from that, a lot of properties in Metro Detroit, people began to lose their values. The homes didn't have equity in them. You start to see a lot of families lose their homes. That brought down the value. So here I am in the middle of a recession, and not knowing it, I had an opportunity in front of me. And so one of my best friends and mentor, his girlfriend, now wife at the time, had a property that was in the Green Acres, which is between 7 Mile and Livernois. And, she was upside down on the mortgage on the house because of the values had plummeted so much. And he's like, I think you should buy this house. I think it'll be a great investment property for you to start. I was at home. I was living with moms, and I scraped up on the money, and I bought that house for $18,500.
Yes.
Yeah.
What you
So
for,
6 years,
God.
6 years later, I sold it for $115.
Yeah.
So that was my intro to get into the game.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, my God, you know, he told me at the same time, so you need to understand how to evaluate property, understand the value in it. And so I became a licensed appraiser in the state. And so now I buy property. I've done over 20 fix and flips throughout Metro Detroit. I got 4 going right now. That's my day to day. You know, is property acquisition, and real estate development, a single family residential level. Yep.
Yeah, that's what's up. And that's a, you know, a lot of people are, like I said, that's a big thing a lot of people want to get into nowadays. And it's cool to just hear your journey through that and how it happened for you. You know, taking something that looked like it was like, man, this just not working. Do I go do something else? And in that same mindset, you kind of did something else within that same. You're like, it's not working, but it's not that this whole vision is not working. It's whatever I'm doing right now is not working.
Yeah.
So you just change what you do on that day-to-day basis in that same lane, and you can find success. And that's really cool to hear, for real.
Yeah, I think most people need to understand that, you know, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
That's why when I hear people say that, you know, it's enough of money out here for all of us to be rich and fat. It's true. It's true because we can cuss on here.
Yeah. Do what you got to do.
Eat don't make me shit.
100%.
And vice versa, right? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and do what I need to do and figure it out. And the more research you do, I think as a country we're lazy, man. America's one of the laziest countries. People don't want to work. They don't want to grind. They don't want to figure it out. And if you put a little bit of effort and a little bit of resources and a little bit of, you know, putting your ego aside and say, you know, I need to learn. I'm trying to better my situation. Because what got you here ain't going to get you there. We'll all be set. We'll all be straight. But,
Yeah.
you know, we don't come from that. We come from a city where everybody's trying to pull each other down. And like I was telling you guys ahead of time, I'm proud of the team here. These guys are doing some phenomenal work, and they're working together. I think that's very important.
Yeah, shout out the crew, man, the podcast crew. You know, we all about inclusion over here.
No doubt.
Shout out the crew. Well, that's what's up. So I'm going to stick on the background topic. So, Jess, you brought up Copper House. So tell the people about Copper House, how that came about, and that journey for you. And, you know, because that kind of catapulted you into all the things that you're doing, you know, right now. So tell us about that.
Yeah, and I think that when you grow up without having a lot, like, you have visions of what wealth looks like, right? And I was a kid from Detroit who used to drive around downtown, and I would say, I want to own a building. Like, I want a fucking building so bad. That's what's coming to me, and I know it's coming. And I used to want that. I used to visualize that as a kid, and every part of my journey makes sense towards it. I worked at the University of Delaware. This is the way I moved across the country to marry my wife, because at the time, gay marriage wasn't legal. So we went and worked at the University of Delaware so that she could get her bachelor's degree. Like, that's a part of how do you acquire education? How do you acquire knowledge? How do you move within this system that costs a lot of money? You strategize, right? And I was at the University of Delaware, and I worked in residence life and housing. We got to live on campus for free, and I did all of the programming and everything. I established community, and I learned what students needed to be successful in school from a home space, right? Mm-hmm. And so when we moved back to Detroit, when we were looking at property, I was looking for, like, areas that were on the up and up. Like, where are dollars for development going into? My friend worked for the city. She showed me a map of where some dollars were going. And so I picked Bagley, which is also in the northwest side of Detroit. And I was able to get a house, a sizable house, like 2,500 square feet, for a price that I could afford. And then I knew in the moment that I was like, I'm going to be hosting people here. That's why I wanted a big house. I want buildings. I want real estate. That's what abundance looks like to me. And so I was like, I'm going to host so many people here. I had all these visions. And then I was like, I'm going to do educational sessions. So recreational cannabis became legal that year. And I just hosted, our first bedroom was with an air mattress in our spare bedroom upstairs. And we had this, like, conference come into town, and people wanted to stay specifically because they wanted us to tell them where to buy weed. And so we noticed partnership with delivery services and dispensaries right away was going to be a process. And then we started hosting events, educational events, to learn about different cultivation processes. We had grow classes, we had strain classes, we had dance classes where you could consume cannabis. We started hosting events. And I was I was in nonprofit development, was my day job. And I had told my supervisor at the time, like, I'm doing this cannabis stuff. I want to do education. I think it's about equity and community. My first big event was a 420 dinner with Black folks in cannabis. On 4/17, I was like, the Free Press was going to be in my house, and my house was about to be on the front page of the Free Press. And I was like, okay, I guess I got to tell people that I'm in cannabis now publicly, because I was just doing this experimentation thing on the back end side. And so I made a post, and I talked about how I believed in this is estimated to be $1 billion industry. So being on the ground floor is just smart movement. 2, there's not enough black people in leadership in this industry. There's not enough black people in ownership in this industry. And we are the ones who are 10 times more likely to be criminal in some places. So why don't we have ownership? 3, this is like a very tangible way to give back. I was very excited, and I was justifying the work that I was doing, right? That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like, yes, this highly educated professional woman who cares about kids and about the world is going to be working in cannabis now, and here's why. I did that on a Tuesday. I was terminated publicly on a Friday, 4/19, the day before my 4/20 dinner. And so I went from almost a 6-figure job to no money. And so obviously I would assume that you know that I like money. And I had to figure out, I was on real unemployment, not that COVID unemployment. I was on $300 a week, okay? And so I was like, I got to figure this out, and I got to figure it out fast, because all my money is gone.
This ain't working.
No. And
No,
so we went from that air mattress in that spare bedroom to like hosting events, we've got so much media coverage. So anyway, Detroit is, Copper House Detroit is Detroit's first bud and breakfast. We are a short-term rental and cannabis-friendly accommodation. We also are a gathering space and host intimate events. It is also my private residence. So I live there, and I'm able to provide concierge services and lots of connections. But essentially, it developed out of an idea. It's also been a passion, and it is, I think, it's my destiny. What I'm meant to do. I'm meant to hold space, and it's fun. But I'm ready to outgrow my space. It's been a few years of prototyping out of my home, and I'm ready to either have another home or
it's time
speak it into existence.
That's what's up, though. Like I said, I never knew that background behind Copper House, but I've always heard great things about it. I've been there myself. If you've never been, check out Copper House. It's super dope. It's very pleasant. We had the movies going in the backyard, and we had dinner. It was really cool. It's a very intimate space that and it's cannabis friendly. I'm gonna tell you right now, I smoke in every Airbnb I go to anyway. But if they tell you can smoke, it's that much better. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's really cool what y'all are doing, and it's really a beautiful thing. And man, it's crazy that you got fired over that.
Yes, I know.
It's
and that's why
crazy.
I'm always like, I understand the risk, why like some folks don't want to be public about, I understand the risk. I understand. We're more likely to be criminalized. And criminalized looks like a lot of different things, like getting fired.
She got fired over it. I'm about to fire up this right now.
Fire it
That's
up.
how you feeling?
That's old school Detroit, though. I think there's a lot of stigma around this plant. Have you experienced much stigma with your connection in nonprofit work in cannabis?
I just left my mom about 30 minutes ago. My mother recently had back surgery. And my mom runs a nonprofit here in the city. I was the inspiration behind it. It's called Midnight Golf. And I was at my mom's checking on her, and she's always very conscious of what that looks like to the young people that we serve and to the families that we've helped out. But as I explained to my mom, I'm like, Mom, I understand. I get it. A lot of the funders and a lot of people from that perspective. But at the same time, it's like, this is a completely different era in which we live. Your era looks down upon marijuana. This generation supports you if you believe in marijuana.
Yeah.
But
they come
more
from that
importantly,
Reefer Madness era.
But more importantly, what I said was, the more important part is, I'm one of 36 black owners of a dispensary in the state of Michigan.
Yes, sir.
In the Midwest.
Say that one more time.
I'm one of 36 black owners. My name's on the license. I'm on the license. My name is on the license.
Talk your
shit. For real.
This
shit's hard.
No flexing, but
flex.
Flex.
You have to take that into consideration as well. So while I'm very well aware of of the image that I put out here and the man you've raised me to be, I'm very well aware of the implications that it shows somebody that looks, talks, and walks like me from the same community that I'm from, for them to see that I can go and do that and do it legally and be smart and be married and have a family and take care of his business. You know what I mean? Like Nip said, ain't no smut on my name. Like, I'm out here doing it and I'm stand up about it. And I'm not ever out here beating my chest up. Y'all know that. Y'all know me. Like, you'll never see me.
We beating your chest for you. Pause.
Yeah, I'm not.
Right.
That's not
That's
how
why
I
you
get
here.
down. But to the point that I'm trying to make is that I had to explain to my mom, like, Mom, I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I'm not a, and this is no disrespect to anybody I'm not a weed man. I'm a businessman, right? But at the same time, people need to see what it is, and it is me being a black man owning a marijuana company. We're giving money back to the community. We're helping people that's getting out of, like, we're doing the things we're supposed to do. I just think that culturally from different generations, things swing. One thing may be cool today, or from that era, they may thought it was cool, but we may not look at it like that.
Yeah.
Right. So I just think everything has to come into context, and the mission and who you are and what you bring to the table. That also plays a major part in it. Right. I'm not gonna step out here because I own a dispensary and I'm just gonna turn into smoke weed every single day. That's just not who I am as Jason.
Weed every day.
Right. Like, I can't get my Nate Dogg on, but I also think that
Or you could, but in different ways of consuming.
correct.
And like,
I'm just saying, correct. And see, and that's where the education comes
Yeah.
in. Jay.
100%.
yeah.
You don't know what you don't know. That's in anything in life. And so if
100%.
you
And what we know has been taught to us through indoctrination, which is inherently anti-black. Like, all of the propaganda
Absolutely.
that your mom knows is rooted in anti-blackness and racism, and it's just
It
rhetoric.
is.
And so, like, I think the elders, they do intersect with the medicinal side, though, and I'm glad that Biden has allowed for federal research so we can get more medical research, so the elders will learn with the medicine. It is a real nice medicine for all needs.
and they know it now. I just think it's one of those things, at least in my case, what image are you trying to portray?
Yep.
And my image is what it's always has been. I'm a positive black man from the west side of Detroit that's never been to jail, that's graduated from college, that grew up in a single-family household, that could have easily went left, especially off of Finkel and Whittingham, 4-1 all
100%.
day. I could have easily did everything that I wasn't supposed to do,
Yeah.
but I did the opposite. My mom worked 3 jobs, so up until my junior year in college, and I'm like, how could I ever disrespect
Yeah.
everything that I'm doing is for our name, for our family. You know what I mean? So, generationally, it's just different.
Yeah.
It's different. I feel that, man. Growing up too, like, we moved around a lot, but I'm from the west side of Detroit. My younger childhood, we were, grew up on Linwood, and, my mom worked crazy hours all the time. Like, I basically, raised by my mother, my grandmother, my brothers and sisters, for real, my cousins, my aunties, my uncles, like, the family helped out.
Most
what I
of
mean?
us, yeah.
The family helped out, and it's like, I could easily be over here, doing foolishness. Like, my brothers and sisters ain't perfect. Like, my brothers was into a lot of bullshit when we was younger, and I learned from that. Like, I'm the youngest on my mom's side, but I'm the second oldest on my dad's side. So it's two very different dynamics,
Yeah.
like, seeing all the bullshit that they're doing and learning from that, and then teaching the right way to do it to, my brothers and sisters under me on my father's side, So I feel that, like, just be an example of doing the right thing, even though all the wrong things are staring you in the face and you could easily be over there doing some bullshit. And so I respect that a lot, because I'm the same way, People look at you, they're like, oh, you talk proper, you do this, you do that. But it's like, man, all this shit was earned. Like, I could have easily been out here on some bullshit, and I haven't been. I'm out here handling business. And it's beautiful for us to show that. Like, you can do that and be cool.
Yeah.
So
and I just think, at the end of the day, a lot of people are afraid to really look themselves in the mirror every day, whether they all the way up or whether they're on their knuckles. a lot of people are scared to face themselves. And I think that, I bet it on me then. I'm betting on the jockey. Forget the horse. I'm always going to bet on the jockey. I'm betting on me.
Because you know that you're the
Because I know what I'm capable of, right?
100%.
I know what I can do. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, here's my this is my resume. I've done A, B, C, D, N, E. But then I got, I got everything else that's coming up. And it's like, here's my reference points. I don't need a resume. Like, my work, my value, what I bring to the table speaks for itself.
Yeah.
100%.
That part, I think that is the part that we're afraid of, is like, because as you're speaking, like, I try to just be big sis, right? Like, that's what I said. I'm quintessential big sis. I want to be human so you could see me fuck up, because I do fuck up. I do make mistakes. And I do make decisions that, like, exactly. But also, here's the track record. Like, multiple degrees.
Multiple. Say that again.
Yeah.
Multiple degrees.
Multiple degrees. I've done all of the things, but, and I live a nice life, but there's always someone that can question you. There's always somebody that can question you, and I just try to live in the most morally grounded way, in alignment with what I know my soul's purpose is, and I try to be the big sis about it, like, because I don't want folks to grow up in shame of who they are anymore. And that's where, like, I can be proud of everything that I've done, and I can be honest about that, even if it is hard for my grandma to hear sometimes, because she's of a different generation.
From a different generation. Shout out to grandmas, man. My grandma's the same way. My grandma heard the new track I showed you earlier, and she fucking
Which is
loved
fire.
it.
Which is
She
fire.
loved it, bro. Like, I show my grandma a lot of my songs. She's like, I just wish you wouldn't say that word.
Yeah.
You know
But she liked this one, though.
Yeah, but
that one's gonna be a banger.
She loved that record,
That's
man.
a good vibe right there.
I got her iPhone for Christmas, so she FaceTimes me all the time, and she FaceTimed me about that record, and she was in love with it, man. It was crazy.
Let me say this. We talking about what the critics, and this was yesterday, and I pulled this out for a reason. My post yesterday said, if my critics saw me walking on water, they would say it's because I can't swim.
That's crazy.
Margaret Thatcher. Like,
yeah.
You said I couldn't did it. I did it twice.
Yeah.
Like, everybody like Jay-Z said, everybody taking shots at my body. I'm tired. People gonna always hate you, and they hate you because they ain't you.
They hate
you because they ain't you, and they also hate because 9 times out of 10 they see you shining. Yeah. But they don't realize the stars. You can't put a star out. A star's gonna always shine.
Stars gonna always shine.
They can shine too. Like, that's what I like. You can shine too. You just have to, like, walk in your wave and know your purpose.
Yeah.
The Loft podcast is sponsored by Live Cannabis Company and Common Citizen. Live and Common Citizen partnered together in 2021 to bring all your cannabis needs right to your doorstep, with retail locations in Ferndale, Detroit, Lake Orion, Lansing, Grand Rapids, and Lapeer. We got everything that you need, from your oldest smoker to the youngest. Shout out Live Cannabis Company and Common Citizen. So we've been talking a lot about, past and what brought us to where we're at. And I kind of want to go to, like, where we're going, like what's going on right now, what are we working on, things like that. So Jess, we'll start with you. What do you got in the pipeline? What is something that you want to do? Tell us a little bit about the future or the near future.
So I come from, like, a consulting and training background, and I've had the bug to speak, like, for a long time. And I used to tell my therapist, like, I'm just waiting for my my ministry. And turns out I wrote my ministry, and it's called Sis, Your Copper and Alchemy to Shine. It's a holistic wellness framework. It launches September 16th, and it's an educational memoir which takes situations and experiences from my life that felt like the darkest time of my life, right? Like the shit shows, those down things, and it goes through what I learned from them. So I talk about being terminated and losing my job, and all of a sudden going from being the good big sis who's showing all the good things to being fired because she's doing weed, right? So how did I move through that? How did I transform myself? And so what the alchemy provides is like a framework for folks to always rebalance and reshine in its 5 key areas and elements in your life. And so my goal that I'm working on, I want to speak on that. I want to help folks be able to repolish themselves with the alchemy. I want to do a mini tour with my book in Chicago, LA, Austin, New York, and Detroit. and that's like really where I'm focused. I hope that also brings in new revenue streams. Nice
Word.
revenue
Speaking
streams.
into existence.
That's what's up. So what's
There you
what's
go.
the name of the book again? Give
It's
it to us.
called Sis Your Copper, which is an affirmation, and then it's an alchemy to shine.
Yeah, that's what's
Super
up.
dope.
That's fire. I like the innuendo
That
you
is
throw in
fire.
there too.
Yeah.
That's super cool. I've always wanted to write something, whether it be a script, a book, or something, and just put something from my imagination into the world. So kudos to you, because that's
You
not
do,
easy to
you
do.
do your
At
music all the
It's
time.
it's different though. Like I
Yeah.
feel you. The music is a form of art, but like telling a story with music is a little different than telling a story. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like it's a different wave of like of vulnerability, and that's something I want to get into. So that's what's up.
I
That's
appreciate
super
that.
dope. Give us a date one more time. When does that drop?
September 16th.
September 16th. Make sure y'all go get that. That's gonna be dope.
Thanks.
I'm definitely gonna cop one. My
Me too.
dad wrote a book too, and I copped his
Oh,
book,
dope.
and he's been going on his tours and
Yeah,
shit. It's
that's fire.
It's cool. He's working on a documentary right now. My dad's had a
Dope.
long life.
Nice.
Long life. That man, he's a minister now.
Okay.
So his a lot of that side of my family are ministers,
Okay.
and he comes from a long line of them, and
Okay.
that's what he loves to do. But
Okay.
he also has a past life, as a lot
Yeah.
of people
Yeah.
do. So he talks all about it is in his book. I believe it's Mozambique. If anybody knows it,
That's
the face
across
you
the street
yeah,
from where I grew up. Yeah, it's right there on Turner.
Wow. Go check that out, man. Jason Felix, the Mozambique. It's a dope book.
Wow. Wow.
So Jason, what you got going on, man? I know you got some shit in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just steadily growing my my development company, my real estate development company. Looking to get more into syndication deals. Syndication deals is
I was about to say, what's that?
commercial multifamily, so apartment buildings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
I
getting
heard
ready to
that's
get
where some cash is at.
I'm getting ready to get my feet wet with some apartment buildings, raising capital.
Yeah.
The Midnight Golf program is going into our 24th year. We've put over the
24
last
years?
What's up?
we're going to 24
Right there,
years.
that's what's
We've put just under 5,000 kids to 160 colleges across the country.
That's dope.
And so we now have a new headquarters. It's the old WJBK building.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are in a capital campaign raise right now. So I'm meeting folks, shaking hands, meeting people,
Kissing
asking
babies,
for money.
all that,
Yeah,
you
so
know.
we're about to start really going down that path of raising money for a really righteous and good cause. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah. That's what's up.
yeah, that's it. Just being a father, raising my little one. Just and trying to be a good husband. It's all at the same time and juggle everything else I got going on in life. So,
Yeah, I
man.
feel you, man. And I know family is really important to both of y'all. I've met both of your wives and your family members, and it's dope that y'all keep everything close to home, and like you and your wife in business together, you and your mom. Is your wife in business with you guys too? or-
Absolutely. She's
Yeah,
part
so
of it,
that's what's up. Keeping it
Yeah.
all real tight knit. That's beautiful, man. Keeping it beautiful, keeping it black,
You gotta-
keeping it at home.
Yeah,
That's
you
what's
got to
up.
keep your families first, man.
Yeah.
Hov said it. Nobody wins when the family feuds.
No,
Yeah.
for
Right?
100%.
And so,
100%.
I have this analogy where, have you ever seen, you've been to the hospital and you've seen on the screen the flat line where it's flat, but it's not flat line and it's
The heart rate?
the heart rate. Thank you. Thank you. I want to be and when you look back at the lineage of my family and who I am and where we all come from, most black people in America, the majority of us, our lineage and our family's history, if you can equate it to that heart rate, most of our lineage and our ancestors have been off flat lines financially.
Yeah.
I want to be the blip that pops up that triggers everything else. So I'm not doing this. My the assets and everything that I'm doing in life is not for me. It's for generations to come, God willing, right? And so
100%.
I want to be that blip on that screen, so that when my great grandchildren They asked their parents, mom, dad, who was Jason Malone in the family? Where was he at? Because everybody else was here, respectfully, but then there was that little blip up. I want to be that blip up.
Yeah, and
Because that's gonna start something, right?
I feel that 100%.
Yeah.
I live my life like that too, man. It's all about generational wealth and trying to put on for your family and provide for your family. I feel like most people that's the dream, right? Is being there for your family, providing for your family, being that change in the dynamic for your family, being from where we're from. You know what I mean? Like everybody comes from that similar background where we're from, so it's nice to see other people trying to be that change. And I think that's becoming more prevalent, and I think it's gonna I can see us on the up and up right now. I talked about this in one of the other podcasts, and I know y'all can probably elaborate on this better. I didn't realize that Detroit was one of the richest cities in America in like the early 1900s, like the first half of the 1900s.
Before there was New York, there was Detroit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Before there was Chicago, there was Detroit. Do you know the very first road ever in this country is the first freeway is the Davison Freeway?
I did not know. That's
the
crazy.
Davison Freeway.
That's why
it
it be so
says
fucked
one.
up.
Davison is the very first freeway
Wow.
that was created in this country. The first road was Woodward. The first car came out of Dearborn.
That makes sense. Okay. I did not know
You see
that,
where I'm
though. That's
going now.
crazy.
So the point that I'm making is we were the hub for a lot of creativity. Detroit, like I said, before New York, people in New York would come to Detroit as the city started to turn.
Mm-hmm.
People would come from New York and take the gargoyles off the buildings downtown and ship them back to New York. So there's a bunch of buildings in New York that have Detroit gargoyles.
That's crazy.
On their
if you've
buildings.
never been to New York, they got mad gargoyles.
Yeah.
They got mad gargoyles.
So, no, dude, don't ever. I always tell people, man, like, we are the flame. We are the flame to everything that runs in this world.
Yeah.
No matter how you look at it. And if we, as Detroiters, have that mentality, as opposed to pushing each other down, building each other up, be unstoppable. I mean, think about the music scene right now. I mean, everybody's sound is coming from Detroit.
Everybody. And
Everyone's sound is a Detroit sound.
And now that Detroit's coming together more, like, we're winning. You know what I mean? It was beautiful. We seen like Skilla Baby, Sada Baby, and T Grizzly was all together a couple weeks ago. Like, they've been, not seeing eye to eye, whatever was going on in their situation. They wasn't all together, and now they're all together. You know what I mean? And then they went to Rolling Loud, and they in all these places, and it's just beautiful to see that unity. Because like places like Atlanta. Reason so many Atlanta artists make it is because Atlanta
together.
is very tight knit.
Yep.
They stick together, you
Yep.
know. And you're starting to see that in Detroit, and it's starting to resonate. You got a lot back in, look, even a few years ago, it might be one Detroit artist popping at a time for real.
Yep.
Now you got about 5, 6, 7 of them.
Everywhere you go. I was just in Dallas last weekend, and all they play was Detroit music. That's all they were playing in the club. So
I'm
it's
telling
like
you.
for the spot we were at. But it's like, I just think that we undervalue ourselves coming from where we come from. Because we don't, and I've lived in different, I lived in Chicago. I've lived in the third largest city in this country, and I know what that feels. But they all kept, Detroit, we want to go to Detroit. We want to go to Detroit. It's like we got that secret sauce that's in the recipe.
Yeah.
And once we realize that it really is a valuable sauce, a lot of us do, but majority of us don't. Once we get on the same accord, man, we could take it over.
It really can.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Like I said, I could really see us on the up and coming right now. People are definitely paying attention to what we got going on in the city, and it's a beautiful thing. So it's crazy, like you said, it just all those fun facts about the city that people don't know that you don't, because like I'm a person that grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s, where Detroit was not that at
Right,
all.
we wanted to get the fuck up out of here. Like I remember being a kid in Detroit. I wanted the buildings. Our architecture has always been impressive to me, even when it was blighted. Like I've always been obsessed with Detroit skyline. I think that it is the most beautiful city. It feels like home, but I wanted to get the fuck up out of here. I wanted to
For
go
sure.
as far as
Wasn't the
way.
vibe, huh?
No, it was. But we've experienced that, a brain drain,
Yeah,
incredible
'cause,
brain
well, I'm
drain.
like, well,
our
we-
talent wants to leave. We want to go, and I think that we come back and like, oh, the cost of living is,
Different.
I could get way more here than I could in New
Different.
York,
Hey,
but
man.
I don't want to sleep in the corner on the
Yeah.
floor. I want to sleep in
Nigga,
the
for
actual
$1,500.
bed. Yeah.
Y'all don't
for
understand.
free.
Like, y'all don't, it's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
the living costs in other places is crazy.
But it's going up in Detroit. There's a lot of
It
folks
is.
that
I
can't
pay-
afford housing right now.
I think we pay like $1,200 for a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
I know some people live in a house for $800.
Yeah.
I like my apartment though. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
cozy.
no, it's times are changing, but it's because of up and comers like y'all. I'm an old man. I ain't up and coming no more.
No, you up and coming.
Nah.
No, I
You
think
can't
that
be old, man. I'm
I'm
26.
mid-age
I'm
now.
getting there.
I'm mid.
I'm getting there.
I'm almost
No.
twice your age. I just think that your generation, I was telling the production crew earlier when we were having a conversation, y'all generation are just a little bit, the ones that are on it, that get it, y'all more collaborative than we ever were. We just
Yeah.
wanted to be seen. That was the culture of Detroit back in the day. What kind of shoes he got on? What is he like? And it's silly. You look back, it's like it's all silly stuff, right? Like, what assets do you have? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, wait,
for real.
how many brokerage accounts do like?
Yeah.
That's the real brag. Like, it ain't about. But we were kids. We didn't know no better. And I think you guys have taken what we started because of hip hop. We celebrating 50 years of hip hop. You guys taken what was started before us. We improved it. Now y'all improving it. And so it's just, we have to constantly, when I mean by improve, I mean collaboration,
Yeah.
collectively working together, diversity. I think all of this stuff is important. And I think it plays a role. It allows you to open yourself up as opposed to being shallow-minded in how you move and how you think and how you sound.
Yeah,
Right.
100%. 100%,
The
man.
zeitgeist of this generation,
Yeah.
which is like the ethos, is
Mhm.
inclusion. It's more inclusion.
Very much
Way
so.
more inclusive.
Yeah.
I live in a wild time right now. Like I said, I'm 26 right now, and life
Such a
has
baby.
changed
Are you
dramatically. Like from when I was a kid till now, to like there was even like just me being a kid to now. Like life was so crazy different, and I can't even imagine what it's like for other people. My mom comes from a time where she couldn't go to the fucking same school as white people. And my mama look white. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. And so I couldn't even imagine something like that. But even then, like, thinking of my life when I was 6 or between the ages of 6, 10 years old, and then my life now as a 26-year-old man is even so much drastically different then, too. So it's just crazy how times change and go on. And I'm just glad that, we are becoming more collaborative and more inclusive, and that life is just, starting to be just a little bit better amongst each other, like us all living amongst each other. Because, as we know, shit did get kind of crazy for a while.
Shit, last couple of years.
Yeah. Shit, it got crazy again. And I think
Yeah.
those times will, they come back, everything comes full circle. But like you said, I think it is getting a lot better, and we live in a lot better time. I had an argument with somebody some months ago, and they were I hate when people say, like, life was so much better back in the day. Like, bro, what are you talking about?
For who?
People were so racist back then. They
Yes,
still
for
racist now. They're like,
who?
what?
Yeah.
Like, bro, I'm black. You can't say shit like that to me.
Yeah.
Time was not good for my people back then. That
Yeah.
shit was ass.
Nah, for
They was
sure.
sicking dogs on niggas. That shit is crazy.
But they trying. I mean,
Literally 10 years ago, I had to move across the country to marry my wife.
That's crazy too. Like,
literally.
at one point in my life, gay marriage was not legal,
Right.
and not cool, and now that shit is.
And I
everywhere.
would have never come out to my grandma 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I now talk about Cara with her. She's still not accepting because it's Detroit and she's old school black.
Yeah.
But she knows who she is. I just think that, and some would say that it's taken like access away from other groups, right? Like that's why we had people railing the Capitol, like they literally feel like inclusion is taking away from other
yeah,
places.
I never understood that. It's like inclusion is literally that inclusion. Like, it's not to derail anybody. It's not to take anything away from any other race or group of people. It's like, honestly, I don't even understand why people care so much about it. It's like, if that shit don't affect you,
No, when them damn aliens,
why do you care?
when them damn aliens come down, it's man, woman of all colors, and it's an alien.
Nigga, it's us versus
we
them.
all gonna line up.
You
together.
feel what I'm saying? It's us versus them.
That's
Nigga,
real
what are you
talk. I
It
think
don't matter if you black, yellow, red, white. If you gay, straight, doesn't matter, motherfucker. We all, because if some shit come down here to get us, nigga, we all the same to them.
yeah,
So-
and it's
Food.
food,
Nigga,
eat,
dog
love,
food.
sex,
So
Yeah.
it's like,
happiness. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's crazy. But like we said, I'm glad we live in a better, more inclusive time because, like we said, even when 10 years ago, it was way different. Shit was crazy out here.
But
People was mad ignorant. They
Don't-
still are.
don't get it
but it's
twisted.
getting better.
you know, I think the one thing that I also think your generation, your era, I don't call it generation. Your era is I don't want you guys to lose, and I'm sounding like an old man now, but this is facts. Like, I don't want you guys to lose focus on the ability and the power to vote. Like, to vote is so important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we have the
an
lowest
extent.
turnouts. But then when shit hit the
Them niggas
fan,
be cheating, man.
listen, then shit hit the fan, and you go and you like, well, why did this get passed, and why is this like that, and
Got a point.
why do we?
Civic engagement.
Yeah.
generally.
I feel you.
Yeah.
It's
can't
like
even read
I
a
see
damn
that from
ordinance.
both perspectives, though. It's like
Why
yes,
why is Joe Biden? Why we got an 80-year-old, 85-year-old man that's president? Understand?
that nigga is old as hell.
Yeah,
Hey.
I'm just saying though, but like think about it. Like this 85, he falling down the
That nigga-
stairs, he be
Hey,
losing
that
his
nigga old
thoughts.
as hell.
And then Donald
shout
Trump
out
was
Joe
80.
Biden,
Donald
man.
Trump is 80 years old.
Yo,
You mean to tell me out of all the how many people we got in this country? Billion? How many billions of people live in America?
yeah. That
Whatever
shit
the
crazy.
number is, you mean to tell me out of all the people that live here, the best we could do is 2 80-year-old motherfuckers? Come on, man. Like
That's how that shit, man. That's my point, though. It's like that's the shit they feed us, and that's why niggas don't want to vote. It's like, bro, you want some bullshit? Why?
yeah,
is these
but we have to change that.
we do, and I
We
understand.
have
That's why I
to
said
change that.
I see both
That's
sides of
civic
it.
engagement. We gotta get someone cool to be in office. Like, you just gotta make it cool.
It's got to be.
You gotta make it cool.
You gotta make it
Yeah.
cool.
Why you got these two old white niggas?
Hey, right?
out here?
Don't nobody
I don't
want
want to vote for these
the
niggas.
reason why Biden won is because he's associated with Obama.
Obama.
Like, you know, like
And
you
he
got
don't even
that,
fuck with
that
black people.
bias on him.
That
So
nigga
you
said,
just
"You
see
don't vote for
Obama,
me, you
and
not
then
black."
you're like voting for Obama. Like, that's what happened with him. Let's
Hey,
be
Joe
real.
Biden might be a real nigga. That nigga funny. He said, "You don't vote for me, you not black."
Yeah, we're not gonna talk politics.
That shit crazy. That
Yeah,
nigga funny as hell.
That's that shit that I'm like, no, dog. Who you think you talking to?
For real. Like that's
Like, who
a
you
wild
think
shit
you
to
think
say.
who you think you
So,
talking
Jason,
to?
when you running?
Yeah, when you running?
Yeah,
What's
that
up?
Big bro, show model
got
the
you.
way. What you doing?
Jason Malone,
let me impact.
2000.
When you're 80, then you're gonna
No,
do it.
I'm never gonna do it.
He
I
said
want to
never.
impact. I don't want to be seen. Too much shine dulls the suit. Don't
I
keep
feel
me
it.
in the back.
Keep me in the back. These lights is bright
And
as
the
hell.
only reason I'm doing this is because of you.
My dog.
The only reason.
that's
This ain't even
love.
how I get down. My air on. We ain't get down
You
like
said
this.
we don't get on the
He
camera.
said no.
Y'all niggas, what? You want to get on the camera?
No.
You want to record? That shit is crazy. Your
Nah,
era
dog.
back, like niggas did not record.
Nah,
you
dog.
record, you're a fed.
Well, Hov say if
Not
it wasn't for
everybody
these
records.
pictures, you
Was
wouldn't see me
because
at all.
water,
Like, I don't
gay,
need to
and
be
like,
seen.
there were like contextual things, and also you would get caught up. I was.
You
I
would.
remember in college I smoked. The first time I bought a joint, I was 16. I was in high school. I was a 4.3 student. I carried it around in my wallet for months.
The
Did
joint.
not smoke it. Yeah, and I finally gave it to my friend's boyfriend because I was too scared to smoke it. So the first time I actually smoked was at the University of Michigan, and I was looking around, and I was like, all these smart motherfuckers are on this campus with me, smoking weed, and I have learned that this is gonna make me not smart. So I smoked weed, and
Are you happy that you did?
and I'm happy that I did.
I'm happy that you did too.
that I
It's
did.
beautiful. I was in the DARE. I was one of the first DARE students. Y'all know what DARE is? They
Yes,
still do that
I
shit.
do. I was in DARE. That was why I was scared of that shit.
That shit. I won
It's
the
the
essay
gateway
contest.
drug.
Yeah, they
You gonna
talking about
start
you was
weed
gonna
and
start
end
doing
up on
crack. 'cause
crack.
you
You know,
smoked
my
weed.
dad was a.
That's how I grew up. My mommy let me believe that shit, man.
Yes.
And then I smoked weed my first time. We hit the Arizona can. back in the day. If you smoke weed for real, you know what I'm talking about. And it
The
was just
Arizona
there.
tea can.
I'm yes, you know, you poke the holes in that bitch.
He be smoking
I'm a
like bowl.
Rastafarian, man. Like, I believe in the healing behind the plant and, like, you know, the nurturing and the love that the plant brings and, like, the peace it brings to you and your mind and your thoughts. And I really love the Jamaican culture and how they use the plant in their everyday life, and that's why I use it, you know?
Yeah.
It's symbolic to me. It's not something that I'm just doing just to do. You know, that's why I locked my hair, and that's why I live the way I live, and that's why I am the way I am. It shaped me, you know? And when I was a kid, like, I was very high strung and, like, always so worried about what other people thought, and that just brought me peace in life. So that's why I sell the plant. That's why I smoke the plant. That's why I educate on the plant, and that's why I live by that shit.
No
For
doubt.
real.
It for real changes your life when you use it intentionally and consciously. Herbal medicine generally,
Yeah.
like plant, indigenous roots, all that.
Yeah, shit is beautiful. Well, it has been so lovely talking to y'all. It's been a great time. We're gonna have to do this
Young
again.
Felix.
Man, it's a pleasure to have y'all on this podcast. Like I said, I've been wanting to do this for a while. I love working with y'all. I'm glad we got to kick it on some more, you know, intimate, intellectual shit and really talk about other things other than work. We definitely got to do this again. Tell the people where they can find y'all, you know, and shout out whoever y'all want to shout out.
Man, 12604 East Jefferson is where you can find me.
Yeah,
Live
come see the
Cannabis,
boys.
Monday through Sunday, 9 to 9. Please, you know, pull up, check in on us. Felix gonna make sure you good.
We gonna make sure you're right, man.
Black owned, legacy license. Yeah, man.
What else? What else, Jess? What's up? Tell us
Well,
where
you
you
can
at.
find me on Instagram at
Yeah,
I
there
am
you
just
go.
human. So I am just human, and you can find me on LinkedIn at Jess Jackson, and we can connect there. And yes, also at Live Cannabis. Go shop Live Cannabis.
Yep. Live
Yeah.
what's our,
Join
what's
our
our
highly
handle on?
loyal club because
Yeah.
The
you'll
Highly
get-
Loyal Club, man. You get free shit. You get free weed. You get dope deals. You get 25% of free pre-roll on your birthday. $25 referral. Where can you go where if you get your homie to shop, they give you $25? Nowhere. But we do that shit. So come
We
fuck
do
with
that.
us.
We do that.
Yes,
do that.
We
We
do.
If you sign it, you get the
We do
app.
that.
You got a code in the app that's specific to you. You give that code to somebody. When they sign up and come shop, you get $25 for
Y'all hear
every
that?
person that does that.
Y'all hear
Yes.
that?
Don't
Y'all
nobody
hear
do that like us, man. And you get 5% back on everything you spend. You can use it whatever you want. So that's how we do it. And then just shout the book out one more time. Let them know where they can find it. What's going on?
Yeah, Sis Your Copper and Alchemy to Shine. You can look for it on Copper House DET. It'll be listed online on my website. But the launch is up, so register and come on out if you're in Detroit.
Can you sign my book for me?
I
Absolutely,
need
you
a
can come to the
signature.
launch event and
Okay.
I'll sign it
I'm
for
I'm
you.
coming.
Sure.
I'm pulling up. I need an invite. I'm coming fresh to death. We're gonna come with the little
In
handheld
copper,
mic.
the attire is
We
copper.
where can we interview people at the
Yeah,
event on
you
the
absolutely
podcast?
can.
D,
You
we
absolutely
gonna
can.
talk about it.
I got some copper Gucci look. No, I'm just
Come through. Come through.
Well, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for checking out the Loft Podcast. I'm your host, Felix the Don, aka Felix, aka Top 2, Not 2. This is the Loft Podcast, and we out, man. Thank y'all for coming through.
I got money in the bank, what you think, what you thought? I'm loving all this energy, I'm clearing bitches out. I ain't stressing, manifesting, what ain't serving me will go. I'm rocking with my higher self, I'll never be alone. I got money in the bank, what you think, what you thought? I'm loving all this energy, I'm clearing bitches out. I ain't stressing, manifesting, what ain't serving me will go. I'm rocking with my higher self, I'll never be alone. Yeah, just like that. Hey.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's your host, Felix the Don. Welcome to the Loft Studios. Everybody give it up for my boy, AyeWhy. We'll see y'all next time.
It's my favorite song.
I'm on that hot shit, baby, and I ain't had enough. You wanna lose some flame, don't think you know enough. Just wanna change your name. I'm fine. You see, I'm on that hot shit, baby, and I ain't had enough. See, you a new school flame, don't think you know enough. Just wanna change your name, you made me fall in love. I don't think I'm fine, getting hold of mine. See, I ain't gotta change my ways for you. I've already done my time, approved. Never thought I wanna lose this kind of move. Ain't really much to lose. Quicker that I get it, I lose it, now you ain't good enough. You was at the top of my phone, see where you ended up. I been on the low, I see you at the door. See, I ain't gotta get it in dip, I run around like this shit. You play around with this money, you bitch. And I ain't ever wanna get on the list, ain't never wanna one bit. You put me over, had to offer a lift. I'm coming for you, baby, please don't laugh. Got something for you, baby, back your bags. I'm only hoping that this shit gon' last. Can only do it for you, only for you. See, now I'm on that hot shit, baby, and I ain't had enough. So you a new school flame, don't think you know enough. Just wanna change your name and make me fall in love. I don't think I'm fine, getting high. I just lose you with the quickness, quicker than I can notice. All them things that we was talking wasn't keeping me focused. Shit was over, better business. How you still need a shoulder? It's hella niggas I've noticed. Find a love, I've been on my Maddie and Petty. On my shit getting ready. On struck a time I was stuck in the celly. Ain't been over forever, you keep me down and now I'm up getting sweaty. In the game, I'm down in the Chevy. But now I'm on my high shit, baby, and I ain't had enough.